Hey, everybody. It is a little early today. It is 6 p.m. on the East Coast, and it is Monday. Monday, a little bit early. There is something that I really want to discuss today, and this will be a positive and a negative show. It'll be all the things that we want to, and the reason is some of you may ask yourself, well, Larry, how you talk the talk all the time about being transparent. You talk the talk about being forward and honest. And I do. I talk that talk all the time. Guilty as charged. So what's going to happen when you're in trouble or things go poorly? What are you going to do? Well, things went poorly. And now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be transparent. It's hard to tell you what I have to tell you. However, many of you have really supported me through a lot. And we're not done yet. Don't get me wrong. This is not a goodbye. Not that. Don't go there. This is an explanation that you deserve. And I want to be clear on this before I start. And I'll say it again if you need me to say it again. This is not an excuse. This is an explanation. There's a difference. I'm explaining it to you because so many of you who've supported me, you deserve to know exactly what happened and how it happened and where my mind was. But regardless, the buck stops with me, which is why I'm saying it. I'm not doing it in paper. I'm telling you, as I always do, I'm coming right to you and telling you what's going on so that you are aware of what happened and why and what I was thinking and where we're going next. Again, I have to be clear on this. You're going to hear me talk about others here or there. I am, because others are part of my team and part of people who I trusted and didn't trust and back and forth. But without question, at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. That's how that works. And I'll be transparent, even on the ugly things. The first thing is our signatures that we handed in last week. Some people were like, Larry, numbers you said may not be the numbers that were there. That could be true. And there's a reason why that is. Again, a reason, not an excuse. I believe there was more. And to be clear, everything that I'm going to tell you now, I literally have at least half a dozen witnesses who were either there or around or saw or were right there. At the end, the last days of our petitioning campaign, we were in trouble, but not because we weren't getting signatures. We were. We were in trouble because we didn't have bodies. Some people got COVID on my team. And for those of you who don't know this, our team is full of volunteers. We don't have paid staff. We have a bunch of volunteers, people who are stepping up on their own. And a bunch of my people, particularly my captains, literally packed up and left for the last week. They went away. They went to Reno to play games at the national convention. And with them leaving, it threw us into turmoil. We were not ready. And I don't know how difficult it was to literally take all the signatures and, make sure they're still good, clean them, mark them, put them all together. I had a very specific vendor. I had several vendors. I had one vendor in particular who was kind of in charge of most of it. And we had added vendors afterwards, and I'll cover that a bit later. But the one specific vendor who was part of it was kind of senior here. I literally said more than once, do we have all the signatures in? Put all the signatures in. Put all of the signatures in. And I have witnesses. I said, do that, do that, do that. My team, that vendor, other vendors assured me that we had over 50,000 signatures. It seemed that way to be true also. I believed it. I thought it was true. That's why I said it. I believed it. So when we were challenged later on, I was shocked that we were challenged. Why was I shocked? Because what difference would it make? Why would someone challenge us? Why would they do that? We have tons of signatures. We're fine. I came to find out that that vendor chose to not put in literally thousands of signatures. Here are some of them. Thousands of signatures were never submitted. You might go, Larry, didn't you count them? I couldn't count them. That is how strapped we were. For those who were there, this actually happened. We were literally, we submitted our signatures 5 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. I have witnesses. 5 minutes before the Board of Elections closed the door. They closed the door on me. That is how close we were to not being able to submit on time. We were that strapped on time and bodies and getting everything put together the way people don't realize. Once you have petitions, you've got to make sure they're all right, make sure everything's good. You've got to put them a certain way. You have to literally count every and write down every single sheet, cover pages on each. There are rules for each. That took us over a day just to do that. Over a day to just that, and we almost missed it. We didn't have enough bodies, and we hadn't done this before. So this was challenging for all of us, and we were failing, and we rushed, but we didn't even have time to count them. You might go, Larry, that's terrible. It is. You're right. This is why we struggled so hard to do this. This is why 6 weeks to do this is simply not enough time, because it takes a couple of days just to count the stuff and to put it in. We were getting signatures that day. They were being delivered that day and the day before. How do you count them and put them together? And it was just too much for us. And before, we weren't prepared for it. So we did the best we could. I believed that we had far over 50,000. Far over. That's why I said that. Larry, why would you say something publicly if you didn't believe it? Because I believed it. That's the reason. And then all of a sudden, I come to find out I got thousands that were not put in when I specifically asked the question. More than once, I was there in the hotel. We had to get a hotel suite so that we could have enough people working on it. That's how hard it is to do this. We had a hotel suite. 6 people there maybe or so. I asked more than once, is everything in? I want everything in. Every signature in. We busted our rump. And thousands were never submitted. So if you're asking what happened, that is what happened. It wasn't that we didn't have it. We literally didn't put it in because one of our vendors, I'm not dragging anybody by name, decided not to. I don't know why. Currently, he's not talking to me now, but didn't, even though I clearly said it more than once in front of others. Literally said it more than once in front of others. And just no, didn't do it. So that's why we were challenged. For those of you who saw that we were challenged, that's the reason why. I didn't think it was possible. I thought we were good, which is why I didn't react right away, because I didn't know why this was happening. I had to do some homework, figure out and see what was going on before I could say anything. Now I know what's going on. Now I'm telling you. And again, I personally blame the individual who isn't talking to me now. However, it's on me. On me still. I guess I should have had more bodies. I should have thought that people would stay and not go to Reno. I should have thought all these things. I did not. I thought people would stay. I thought they thought this was valuable and they would do this and show up. And to be forward, the people who did show up, thank you so much for those of you who did. We would have never done it without you. Never done it without you. We'd never even submitted without you. So amazing. So that was piece one. But now you might say, well, Larry, how come you didn't have a whole lot more signatures? Because as a general rule, compared to 2018, the volunteers didn't show up like they did last time. And everybody had an answer, an excuse or a reason or something where they didn't show up. Last time in 2018, we got about 19,000 signatures just from volunteers. This time, 8,000. How is that possible? In my eyes, right? Clearly it happened. So it happened. But how could I imagine that would happen? That 4 years later, when we have more at stake than ever, when it's harder than ever to do it, how in the world could we not get everyone on board and rush to make this happen and get over 20,000 volunteer signatures? Well, we're mad because this guy made me mad, that guy made me mad, so I'm walking away, or I'm not helping you, or I'm not helping the party. The hell with that. Happened all over the place. And I would ask all of you who walked away, where are you going? Where are you going? I'm here. I'm the center of purpose for this year and you walked away. For those of you who bust your up, and some of you really did bust your up, thank you so much for those of you who did bust your up. That was important. We could have never made it without you. So thank you for those of you who did. So what does that mean? That means we got challenged. It's tough. It doesn't mean it's over. It just means now we're back in court again. And I didn't want to be in court again. And why don't I want to be in court again? There are several reasons why I don't want to be in court again. One, we might lose in court again. If we lose in court, we're in trouble, right? But we're back in court again. We're defending again. I got to hire lawyers again. I got to spend my time and energy on this again. I can't go out and do the campaign to make this thing happen. So I'm back in court again, trying to make this thing happen. It is insane that I have to go back in court again. And that we have two separate issues that we're fighting on. Either one of them can work. I hope one of them does. But either way, it's time, it's money, it's energy that I'm spending back in court to make sure I'm on the ballot. Colossal waste of time, colossal waste of money, colossal waste of more volunteer work that I need from you to be out there doing the campaign, and you're going to be doing this instead. Horrible, just a colossal waste of time. I'm sorry that it didn't go as easily as I really thought it would. So now we're back in court again. Nothing but a pain in the ass. That's all it is. A colossal waste of time and energy. The sad part is I know the guy who challenged us. And I called him. I said, what are you doing? And maybe he's watching. I said, what are you doing? He honestly believes, this is the part that's been crazy. He honestly believes that this is the year the Republicans can win. And he thought throwing me off the ballot would ensure the Republicans could win. I'm not joking. I can't believe it. But yes, he does believe it. Look, if you're listening, you're going to find out you're wrong. I hope at least after this time you figure it out, that they've been lying to you for 20 years and they're still lying to you. So yes, that's literally why we got challenged. That guy, he's the only one who challenged us. Just one guy who's like, yeah, this time the Republicans are going to win. I am blown away by that, but it is true. I called him. He wouldn't change his mind. What are you going to do? I literally asked, I said, there's no chance. You're ensuring that Hochul's going to be the governor if you throw him off the ballot. Didn't care. It's like, yep, guess so. All right. So that's what that is anyway. There's your conservative Republicans in New York State shooting themselves in the foot yet again, shooting themselves in the foot. If Hochul wins this thing, blame that guy. Blame all the Republicans in the state. They did it, not me. Anyway, so we have a couple of chances to win that way. And if we don't, there are other things we can do to get back on the ballot anyway. So we're not off the ballot. Not yet. It's not over yet. It's just much more of a pain in the ass than we ever should have done. And what I'm telling you about is I don't want to dodge the attack that I got, which is Larry, said stuff that wasn't true online. I did say stuff that wasn't true, but it wasn't because I believed it wasn't true. I believed it was true. I was just wrong. I was just wrong. That's it. So I'm coming clean and letting you know that I was wrong. I thought that's what it was. It was not. And I don't want to dodge that. But I'm not done. There is something else that is tough for me to talk about now too. And it may have been an error that I made, but this one I feel better about, even though it may have been an error. Some of you may have seen there are some people who are getting signatures for me who are upset saying I didn't pay them. That's not really the case. It kind of is, but isn't. Let me explain that, and let me just immediately give you all of that out. When we first started getting signatures, we had volunteers and a group of paid people, and we had one major vendor. That's the same major vendor. We got more vendors afterwards when we started to doubt how powerful this vendor was. We went and got others afterwards. Sadly for us, too late, and some of them were bad too, but that's another story. I'll keep going. Initially, the money wasn't coming from the campaign. For those of you who don't know, when you try to get ballot access for a party, you can create a separate ballot access committee, which we did. And it was the Libertarian Party of New York, LPNY, was part of that committee. They were actually paying. The campaign was not paying. The vendor was out there getting petitioners, I wasn't getting them. To be forward, I have no agreement with any petitioners. Let me say it one more time. No agreement. The campaign has no agreement with any petitioners. I didn't sign anything. My campaign manager didn't sign anything. My treasurer didn't sign anything. But they were working on behalf of a vendor. Yes, I okayed the vendor, so the buck still stops with me. But no agreement. The vendor was selecting people, I believe through Craigslist, and send them out and had them do stuff. Okay. The money was being paid from the LPNY. And if anybody was paying attention to who was getting paid, the checks were coming from the LPNY, not from my campaign. Well, we were supposed to get a bunch of money in. Two big groups will put money in. One was a donor, and the donor delayed putting money in. Not the end of the world, because I was also supposed to get money from the National Party. The National Party initially said they were going to give us $30,000. Okay, good, we're set. They reneged on that. And they didn't give anything until the last week, and then they gave half. So all of a sudden, the LPNY was caught short. They had a fundraiser who was still working to bring in money, but then the one donor I had didn't show up right away. And that, I'm not mad. He did show up. So thank you for that. But initially didn't show up right away. And then the LP National said, no. They just changed their mind. Nothing. So all of a sudden now we're a week in, and the LPNY can't pay the petitioners. Week and a half in. And I'm like, oh, now we got a problem. So now what do I do? Well, could I have simply said, look, that's the vendor, changed vendors, moved away, let them fight? I could have done that. And legally, maybe I should have. But I couldn't do it. So I had the campaign step in. The campaign stepped in, and my hope was when donors would come in, they could reimburse the campaign, or we could keep going, or whatever the case may be. But first off, we only got 6 weeks. So I couldn't realistically say, are we going to stop paying people for a couple of weeks till we get the donors in and LP does that? No. But second, I didn't want the people to go without getting paid. So I wanted to do something. So I stepped in, and the campaign started getting paid. And for those of you who, if you're a petitioner watching, you remember in many cases, in the second or third week, your checks started coming from the campaign, not from the LPNY. Why? Because I decided to step in. There were people in my team who thought it was a bad idea. And maybe it was. But it doesn't matter. It's what I did. It's what I thought was right. I'm letting you know if it was a mistake, then it was a mistake. But I wanted to do what I thought it was the right answer. So I did. And the campaign started paying at that point. After that point, I was able to raise more money. So I raised more money and went back to the LPNY. And again, those of you petitioners realize all of a sudden your checks started coming back from the LPNY again. Why? Because I had raised the money. I had then put the money back into LPNY, and you were getting your checks from LPNY again. I was ready to walk away. Okay, we're good. Did my deal, move on, get back to campaigning. No. The vendor that we began to have worries about then said, oh, by the way, we have a bill for X thousands of dollars. And I was like, where'd that come from? Well, this bill for that, for this, for that. I went, okay, all right. Okay, I guess we got to do that then. So then I went to raise X dollars, and I did. And I put it in the LPNY to pay. Meanwhile, we started looking for other vendors because we started thinking this one maybe not be the right one. So we started getting other vendors. Well, all of a sudden now, he says, oh, you raised the money. Great. You know, I said X. I meant X times 2. Where am I getting the times 2 from? I just gave you thousands of dollars. You said you needed. I gave it to an LPNY so you can pay these petitioners. And well, X times 2. Well, I don't have times 2. I can't magically make that. I'm not a Democrat or Republican who has millions of dollars in an account. I'm not even physically working because I'm doing this. How am I going to do X times 2 out of nowhere? It can't be done. What am I going to do? So he goes, well, no, it's got to be this. I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to start going from the campaign again. And I started pulling money out of the campaign again to deal with this issue. Now, here's the problem. This was about week 3 or 4 this began to happen. We had other vendors also who started coming in. Some other vendors were amazing. Some were very good. I wish I'd had them up front. But there are others that actually came in and were literally giving us photocopies. I'm not joking. Literally giving us photocopies. Yes, fraudulent. And we have to pay for it. I'm like, what? Yeah, why? Because New York state law says you gotta pay the people per the hour, not by their signature. So they can give you garbage signatures. Then we found out from the first vendor, people, not all, be forward. There were many people, petitioners out there, busting their rump, doing the right thing, which is why I wanted to make them whole, even though I didn't have to, because there were many who were going out of their way and doing a great job. And there were some who were blatantly scamming us, literally giving us photocopies, giving us literally one signature per hour. So giving us 8 signatures and only 8 hours of work. That was it. People were making up their own rate. Like, we don't agree to a rate, and they just say, well, my rate's $40 an hour. Making up rates and submitting timesheets. That was happening. So we trying to deal with that issue. Now, here's the worst part, though. The vendor I'm talking about wouldn't give the campaign any of the timesheets or any of the W-9s. Remember, these people are not employees. They all think they're employees. They're not employees. They're W-9 contractors. That's what they are. So for me to pay you, you got to give me a W-9 and then submit what you've done, right? Well, they did to the vendor. Why? Because the vendor hired them. The agreement was not with the campaign. It was with the vendor. The vendor literally just went dark and would not give me the paperwork. When I said, look, I'll step in. Even though legally I don't have to, I will try to make these people whole to the best of my ability. I will use campaign funds. I will try to make these people whole. I don't want to screw them over. It's the wrong thing. And he wouldn't give us anything. If those of you if you're a petitioner watching, all of a sudden what I had to do was I said, look, we had to make a separate email. info@larrysharp.com. We had to make that email. Why? Because we couldn't get him to give us the paperwork. So I had to have people give the paperwork to me directly because he wouldn't give it to us. I can't pay you if I don't have a W-9 and what you did. It is impossible. I can't do that. And I'm not going to pay with a W-9. Sadly, some of my people in my campaign paid anyway without W-9s, and we shouldn't have. That was also an error that we made. We can't do that anymore. We're gonna get in trouble if we keep doing that. We can't keep paying people without W-9s. So you got to give us W-9 and then tell them what you did. Now, when we did that, what happened? People got mad at me. They were like, you're screwing us over. Dude, I'm saving you. I got screwed over by a vendor, and sadly, many of you did too, who didn't submit all the signatures that they should have submitted. And now we're back in court again. We shouldn't be back in court. A colossal waste of time and energy. And that same vendor promised you stuff, not to me. I want to be clear on this. I'm saying this publicly. None of the petitioners, not one of them, has an agreement with my campaign. I didn't sign anything. There's no email back and forth. There's no text back and forth. My campaign manager didn't sign anything. My treasurer didn't sign anything. There's no agreement between me and these petitioners. Legally, could I go, I'm not paying you? I could. Feels bad. Feels wrong. Feels wrong. So I'm going to try to make them whole. That's what I'm going to try to do. But I can't make them whole if I don't get the paperwork in. That is physically, I can't guess. People go, well, someone sent you a list of people and dollars. That's not good enough, right? You got to be able to show me that you work, your W-9, so I can give you a check. And then some people got mad and said, well, you got to give me cash. You're not getting cash. I'm trying to make you whole. I'll give you a check. I'm not giving you cash out of my campaign fund. Just come on, guys. Not going to happen. Not just that. Now I got to raise the cash again. I got to run a campaign, raising cash, taking care, trying to make these people whole, but something more important. I have to go through the team. I got to find more volunteers. If you want to volunteer, man, I could use you now more than ever. If you want to volunteer, do some work. And that work is going to be going through signatures and work and W-9 to seeing who is scamming and who is not. Now, I'm going to probably give some scammers some cash, and that's going to suck. But the reality of it is most petitioners were good and did the right thing. Most did. A couple didn't. They literally made stuff up and just want to get paid because they think I'm some rich Democrat Republican who just has cash on hand. And they get mad online. Why don't you just pay? Why don't you just pay? Mr. Moneybags? You think I got money just coming out of nowhere? Why don't you pay then? Yeah, I don't just make money. I wish I could. It'd be awesome. I wouldn't have this problem if I could just make money. I just can't just magically make it happen. I'm not the Fed. I can't just magically make money. I wish I could. So what I'm saying is I'm going to go out of my way to try to make all these people whole. It's not going to be next week. It's not. There's no way I can run the campaign, pay the lawyers for the new lawsuits for no reason that I now have to do because one guy thinks Republicans are going to win. So I can't do all of that at once. So I will be trying to make these guys whole, the good ones. And again, most of them are. There are a couple scammers. And if you're a scammer and I find out, you're not getting paid. You can try to sue me if you want. Someone's like, it's going to be a class action lawsuit. You got nothing. So stop with your class action lawsuit. That's not going to happen. Stop. If you want to go, please do that. Or some go, I'm just going to, I'm going to drag you in a line. Go ahead, please. I don't even, when you guys drag me online, I don't even delete it. Unless you piss off some other people, then I might delete it. But I don't even delete it. Leave it on. You're giving me more engagement. So keep dragging me. I don't mind. Whatever. Do what you want to do. Unless you piss off people, then I get mad at you. Or I'm going to go to Channel 4. No news stations covering your story, man. They don't care about me. If they cared about me, they'd give me some damn press, and I would have made my numbers. If I was a Democrat or Republican, and this should be a clue for some of you guys out there, I'm going to drag Larry Sharpe and tell the press. Good. I'd love to have a story and tell them this. Are you kidding me? Do me that favor. Now, if you keep dragging me and being mean and vulgar and doing screenshots, here's what I'm telling you. If you're a good vendor, you're getting paid in 120 days because I can do that. You're a vendor. You're a W-9. You're not an employee. You're not protected by New York State employee law. You call your lawyer, have him watch this. He'll be like, yeah, you're right. And half you didn't even give me a W-9. So you're just some guy who says I owe you money. That's even worse. But I will still try my damnedest to make you guys whole. If you drag me online, you're waiting 120 days. If you're okay with waiting 4 months, drag me for 4 months. Maybe Channel 4 will pick up and I'll get an actual story out of this. Maybe that will happen. If you sent your stuff to info@larryshow.com, I hope you did. We're not going to go through everything. And I'm still fighting the vendor to get the paperwork. Now, some people said, if you saw online, they said, wait, hold on, Larry. How come Joe got paid and I didn't get my check yet? Because we're paying every week. Checks went out Friday. I paid more people on Friday. So checks go out every week. We're literally going through, seeing who we can make whole, how much cash we have versus how much we have here versus who we think didn't scam us. And then, boom, I'm sending out some checks every month. So I'm trying to make every week. So every week we're trying to make some people whole. Over time, I hope I can make everybody whole within a month or so. That is my hope. I may not be able to. It may take 2 months. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try my best to make everybody whole to the best of my ability, even though I don't have to, but I should. I feel like I should. How about that? I'm sure a lawyer will be telling me, stop, shut up, Larry, don't say anything. I'm sure that's true. But you're asking, you guys are the advantage for all of you, the disadvantage of me to have to sit here and air my dirty laundry is at least you know that when bad stuff happens, you know what I'll do because you've seen me do it now. You've seen me do it now. Well, Larry, do you have any recourse against the vendor? I don't think so. I mean, the court doesn't care. The court's not going to go, oh, some vendor screwed you. Everything's good. That's not how the courts work. I wish it did. So I probably don't. Hopefully the vendor will give me all the paperwork I need to pay people. Otherwise, here's what I'm going to tell you guys. If he won't do it, I can't pay you. He has to give me the paperwork, right? That's why I made info@larryshow.com. That was the reason why I made that. I shouldn't need that. Or think about this. Why would I make a special email for my petitioners if I had a direct relationship with my petitioners? I wouldn't have to. It would come right to me, right? I didn't have that. So I had to make another one to try to make things right. So that's why I did that. So if I get the paperwork, great. If I don't, I guess I'll help you get mad at him. I guess I don't know what else I can tell you. If you'll get the paperwork, we can make this thing happen. So that's what we're trying to deal with now. I know that's a tough one, but what actually happened? The biggest issue is that I have to keep the campaign going because it's not done. We're still working it, and take care of these people to the best of my ability, and still keep everything going to the best of my ability, and still raise money. It is not easy to do, but this is what we're doing. we're going to court again, which is true. We're doing it again. And we'll keep going. And some of you might say, Larry, why do you keep doing this? You've been screwed over by people internally. You've been screwed over by vendors. You've been screwed over by people on the street. You've been screwed over by your own party. Yeah, it's true. And now you're still struggling again, back in courts again. Yeah, it's true. Why are you doing this? Because I care. I think it matters. I believe in my heart that if we don't do this, it's over. Do I think I'm saving the world? I don't. I don't believe that at all. Do I believe I can set it up to be saved? Yes, I do. I'm laying the groundwork for this state to be saved. I'm laying the groundwork for this nation to be saved. Who the hell else is doing this? Everybody else right now is just yelling and screaming, left bad, right bad. They're solving nothing, fixing nothing. I'm the only guy trying to run and it makes me happen that's not left bad, right bad. I'm the only one. This year, at least. It'll happen again, I guess. I hope. If we can't get a third party in New York, some of you understand, no one's getting on the ballot if I don't get in the ballot, which means it'll just be the Republican and Democrat only. We'll have two choices in the state. In case you don't know this state's 3-1 Democrat Republican. If I don't get in the ballot, Kathy Hochul is our governor again. Nothing changes. All the damage that's been done keeps getting done. Not just that. There will never be a third party, a real third party. I mean, there's the conservatives who just follow Republicans. The fact the guy who challenged me is officially a conservative party guy. And then the working families, which just support Democrat, they've openly said that. So there's no third party in New York State ever. There will never be another candidate who will have 50 state ballot access. Third party. Again. If we don't do this in New York now, there is no next time. The window for change is closing. This is why I'm not done. This is why we have to keep going, even though everything was tough. Having only 6 weeks to do this was very hard. Having national renege on the cash was hard. Having donors being afraid that it couldn't do it because of all these things was hard. Having my volunteer army, which was there in 2019, walk away because of personal vendettas and personal shit. And you might go, well, Larry, personal shit. Me too. Me too. Not just you. Me too. I'm not happy with the party. Me neither. The party was a steaming pile of garbage last year, and it is now. It's always been and always will be. But it's the best chance we have. It is literally it's a dumpster fire on wheels. But without it, we're walking. So I'm on it still. I don't know where you think you're going or what you think you're doing. This is still the only part that's actually doing anything. There's no one else who is. So it's closing. We have to do this. I'm not done. I hope you'll still stay with me. I know some of you are disappointed. I am too. But it's not about falling down. We all fall down. I hate taking L's, but I take them. Do we get back up? Can we push through the bad times and keep going and take responsibility for it? I'm trying to, and I'm going to keep going. So we still have a couple of things we have to do. I hope you're still behind me, guys. We're still here. For those of you who walked away, get your ass back on the bus, or should I say, back on the dumpster fire. Get your ass back on the dumpster fire, right? There's nothing else. You're going to sit there and complain and whine and go online and whine? Stop. Get back on the dumpster fire and help me put the fire out. That's what I'm doing. Come back now. I need you. I need you last time, and some of you walked away. Come back now. I need you. All forgiven. Don't care. The war isn't over yet. So get back in the field. I'm in the field still. So get back in the field. If you can help out, help out. I could use volunteers now more than ever. I got to go through all these numbers to see if I can make these people whole, how I can, what I can do. And get the scammers out. There's scammers in there too, who just made stuff up and are just trying to steal money. Those guys got to go. And if you're one of those scammers, you think you're going to scam me? You're not. Let's be clear. You're not. I'm not scared of you at all. You can drag me online all day. All you do is get me more. I get more engagement. The press never cares about me. If you can get me to do a story about this, thank you. You'll be helping me out. And if you keep dragging me, you're going to wait 120 days before you get paid. Even if I pay everybody else, I'm going to wait for you to 120 days. That's when you get paid. 120 days. I can do it. You're a W-9. You're not an employee. Go tell your lawyer friend. I'm sorry, you don't have any lawyer friends. Go tell your paralegal who thinks she's awesome or whatever and told you can do a class action lawsuit. You can't. I'm going to try to make you whole anyway because I think it's the right thing to do. The reality is we both got screwed by a vendor. I'm hoping he will do the right thing and give me the paperwork so I can get you guys paid. I hope he'll do it. He may not, in which case I got to figure things out, who did what, when. It is going to be some time. So checks will be going out to the best of my ability every week. Some of you are getting paid. Some of you got to wait. But your option is wait for me to pay you or go sue him. Those are your two choices. Either one. You can get mad and keep dragging me along if you want to, but it's that fine. Now you delay it even worse. But those are your two things. Either sue him or give me time to try to make things right. Those are your two choices. This was not a great show, I know, but not every show can be cool and fun and exciting. I just wanted to make sure that you guys all knew what was happening and why it was happening and the trouble that we've had. It has been very challenging. This has been very tough. And many of the entities and people that I thought were going to come clean and help me out just didn't. They didn't come through. Some of you jumped up and did so much for me. So thank you for those who did. I appreciate that. Those who didn't, all's forgiven. Come back. I need you. Get back in the field. I love you again. Get back in the field. We need you. It's not over. I need you more than ever now. I need more volunteers now than ever, because now I got to spend another month, literally another month in court. Another month in court I got to spend. This will be, if I'm not mistaken, I think the 7th and 8th time. I think that's right. Me and others. I think, or 6th and 7th. Either 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th time in court. The lawyers make money. The courts make money. I get screwed. So we're back in again doing it. Hopefully within a month we'll have an answer. That is my hope. We'll see what's going on. And we just keep going yet again. And then we get the campaign started finally. Wouldn't that be nice? And then hopefully I'll have made most of these people whole. I hope all of them, but at least most of them whole. So that'll be past us. We can keep moving on and we can try to make the impact that we want to make. Guys, the window is closing. The window's closing. This is our time. The window is 100% closing. We have to make this happen now. I hope I covered everything. Let me see if there's any comments or questions I didn't answer. I want to go back and forth as always. I hope so. Jeffrey says, see here, we got your back. Thank you, Jeff. I need that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. So let's see here. Vince says, go live. Oh, guys, thank you for the pause. I thought some of you were going to drag me because I made mistakes and I made decisions that I probably shouldn't have made. I'm at least so far you guys are dragging me. I'm sure some people will. So yes. Jennifer says, you rocked it, Lara. We'll get them next time. Jennifer, no, we're still going. There's no next time yet. We're still going. We're not done yet. I do appreciate that. Yes. John says, and that's what the duopoly wants. Time-consuming, frustrating, confusing. John, you are so right. The establishment wants this. There's no tomorrow because they're resilient this way. They don't care. The top Republican has over $10 million, and the top Democrat Hochul has over 20. I raised $250,000 and it's basically all gone. Yes, that's how much this cost me. I raised $250,000 and it's basically all gone. And now I'm having to raise more so that I can keep the campaign going and still keep these people whole. Most of that I hope will be from bigger donors who I hope will come back to me again. I hope they will. You guys who begin me a lot of money too, you small amounts. I appreciate that too. We got to keep this thing going. That is my point. John says 6 weeks. I thought it was bad. Illinois was bad with 12. I wish I had 12, John. I'd have made it with no problem. Easy day. I wouldn't be in court now. Easy day. No, I wouldn't have had a challenge. Nothing. I wish I had 12. Be awesome. That would be amazing. Yes. Ian says this is why the 11th hour LNC financial made me. Yeah, Ian, it does bother me because initially they said, we'll give you 30 grand. And there were no strings attached. Then they all of a sudden decided to attach strings that once I achieve X, then they pay me. Well, I don't need you once I achieve X, do I? I need the money so I can achieve X. Then they only gave half and fought me on that. And it was the last week of the campaign. Well, I'm already screwed. I'm already behind in payments. I'm already behind in everything. So, yes, it's terrible. Ron says, how do you know they wouldn't have thrown out enough to disqualify, even if, because the guys who were doing it didn't have the ability to go through them all. So it wouldn't have mattered. And by the way, what we did was very good. Like, we actually have clean ballots, right? I mean, clean petitions. Another thing people don't realize, when you get petitions, the local captains who I had, who sadly left and went to Reno, they look at all the petitions and go, wait, you didn't do this, didn't do that. And they have the witnesses change them and clean them up right there. Then everything else that came to us, some people giving us stuff that went to the hotel suite, we were cleaning them up. Oh, no, it's not Kings, it's not Brooklyn, it's Kings County. We were cleaning it up. So we had very clean petitions. So that was an issue. That was an issue. So yes. Let's see here. Vinny says, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is we're still fighting. That's the bottom line. We're still fighting. We don't know. We'll know in a month or so. Right? We're still fighting. That's the bottom line. And even if we lose everything, we still have a chance of getting it about in another way, which I will cover then. I don't want to cover now because I don't want to say it publicly, Vinny, if you understand. There are ways to get in the ballot. I'm not going to say it for obvious reasons, but one way or the other, you'll be able to vote for me in November. So yes. Ron says 19 versus 8K. Why'd they walk away? Yeah, it's just, no, people are mad. They were mad because, to be forward, and this is going to make some of you LP people locally angry, but I'm going to say it anyway. We were, as a party after 2018, we were not good. We made virtually no friends outside the party, very few. We were angry and mean to others. We were worried so much. In a state like New York that is a fusion state, you have to have allies to survive. We made virtually none. In fact, we pissed most other people off so that when we needed them, they didn't come to us. But worse, we fought internally. We were mean and nasty to each other. We attacked each other for stupid reasons. And the fight internally, and this is in New York State, broke us up to where people were so angry. They were like, I don't care about the LP anymore. They just wouldn't show up. And even me running was not enough to bring them back. They were just like, nope, I hate this guy. I hate that guy. He did this to me. He did that to me. And people walked away. And I had hope, Ron, that me running again, we'd be able to bury the hatchet. We have a mission together. Let's get together. Nope. And then the civil war in the LP, which is insanely stupid. That civil war is going on now too. They're mad about that. Oh, I'm going to leave because of this. Where are you going? 3 years from now, no one's going to remember this garbage. We'll be right back to where we were again. A bunch of civil war stupid stuff. A lot of that's our fault. It's our fault as a party. I'm responsible too. I'm part of the party. We're all responsible for that. So yes, absolutely. So let's see here. Kirsten says, we libertarians might want to give more thought to effective ways to advance liberty. Don't start with getting libertarians to act in ways that we are, for the most part, crappy at, working together in large numbers. Kirsten, I think people should do that. This is, in my view, this is not either or. It's both, right? I think we do need people doing this stuff. This is kind of what Spike Cohen is talking about with his you are the power. Sorry, you are the power. It is what you're talking about, doing that. That's important also. And we should also work to get libertarians elected. We should do both. I think we can do both if we just stop fighting. So, yes. Avi says, Larry, I appreciate what you did, but it seems like the system is rigged against us libertarians. Yes. As awful as GOP or DNC is, you might have no choice to run under their umbrella. You really want me to run as a Democrat or Republican? That's a lot to ask of me. That's a lot to ask of me, but thank you. I get it. He continues, the mayor of LA was Republican and switched to Dems to run for mayor, and he's getting traction. It's not fair, but sadly, this is guerrilla warfare, and we must see unconventional tactics. You know what? Talk to me in 2023. That's what I'll tell you. That's out of the question this year, but is it maybe? We'll come meet me at one of my events 2023. I'll be running around New York State, and we'll talk about it. How about that? That's what I say. Yes, there we go. So, All righty. Let's see here. Danny says, and we had how many New York Republican representatives vote for gun control? How many rhinos we need in New York for Republican voters to get it? I don't know, Danny. I don't know. Yes. I don't know. You're totally right. Yes, absolutely. William says, bless you, Larry. When folks realize it's about the we and not the I that moves his train, we'll have a better world. I agree. Yes. I agree, but what are you going to do? So, all right. Let's see here. Let me see if keep going here. Jennifer says, was that the venue held until thousands of years? Yes, same vendor. And who's not talking to me now. I don't know why I reached out. Not talking. I don't know. So how do I do the right thing? Look, the fact that he kept thousands of signatures, even though I literally have witnesses. What I said. He was there. We were all in the same room. I said it multiple times. Put them all in. Are they all in? Did we get them all in? Multiple times I said it. So, but that's done. That ship has sailed. I can't do anything about that. It's done. But I can't pay petitioners if I don't get the paperwork. So, petitioners, that's the guy to be mad at. I can't pay them. Let's get paperwork. So, yes. I hope that was clear. When will we know? Michelle says within 30 days. I think by early July we should know. So yes, absolutely. So Dave says I might be able to call for some money more for you, guys. If you can donate, please, every bit you can is always going to help. It always does. I'm trying to get heavy hitter donors to give also. If those of you can give big, please give as always. Those of you who can give little always helps. We're still moving forward. I want to get these people taken care of, and I got to keep the campaign going. So the money will go shifted here or there to see what will make most. That's what we'll hope on. We'll see it'll work. So yes. M. Paul says, Larry, bless you, and I wish you well. So I hope you are on the ballot. You have my vote. Thank you. I'm concerned for New York State, and your ideas will help solve this fiasco. I agree with you. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. So, all right. Steven says, was it the old LPN, the new LPN that promised 30K? It was the old ballot access committee, which decided, this will be really clear. The National Libertarian Party decided that the National Party Ballot Access Committee decided that New York wasn't worth it. New York State wasn't worth it. Larry Sharp, the guy who's raised more, this will blow my mind. The guy who's raised more money for a candidate than any non-presidential candidate, more than any. The guy who's raised $500,000 for others, not even myself, for other candidates and other parties. That guy, let's alienate that guy. The only guy who's running this year that has any chance of uniting the party or making impact at all. Let's alienate that guy. Let's not trust that guy. That's what they did. That was their brilliant move. That's the guy we should screw over. Let's put our money in other states that no one even remembered 5 years from now, or you can actually get on a ballot later. This closes the door on New York forever. If I don't get in the ballot and get the 130,000 votes, the Libertarian Party will never have 50 state ballot access ever again, and will never have a candidate, a statewide candidate in New York State ever again. That's the game. They will shut down forever. Forever. And they thought, let's screw that over. That's a bad idea. Let's go to other states. Yes, that's what actually happened. The guy who raises more money for local parties than anybody else. Let's alienate that guy. That was their brilliance. Yes, correct. So yes, Krishka says, you did what you had to do in the end. That's what I thought. Chris, that's what I thought. I did what I thought was best. And I'm coming clean to all of you. I'm telling you what I did, what I thought was best, how I can try to fix it, what I think is right. That's it. You know? That's it. So yeah. So Avi says, Larry, don't take this personally, but in my opinion, you would have been better off taking the lieutenant governor from the Republicans. Ugh. I hear this all the time. But if I'm going to take an L, look, the Republican can't win in this state. And all the Republicans running in New York State, they're all hardcore yelling that Hochul's evil, conservatives are the answer for New York State. And it's 3-1 Democrat. They can't cross over. None of the Republicans can cross over. That's why they're fighting now. They're going to be going to their convention. I mean, sorry, their debate soon. They're fighting who can lose to Hochul by 20 points, 30 points. That's what they're fighting for. I can lose on my own, Avi. I proved that already. I can lose by myself. I don't need them for that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't see that as an answer in New York State. I don't see it. But again, talk to me in 23. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Yes. So yes. Brandon says, have a set rate of $50 per an hour and demand a minimum number like 100 students a week if they want to get paid. That can work in other states. That can't work in New York State. It doesn't work, right? In New York State, the laws are made to ensure that lots of money's wasted. That's the goal. This way, little parties can't win. So here's the problem. If you've ever gone out and gotten petitioners, many of them aren't that good up front. It's just true. It's a different skill set. Some people are bad at it. Some people are good at it. Somebody, whatever. It's great, right? Whatever it is. Well, then they go out for a day or two and then are terrible and get 5 or 6 signatures, and I got to pay them for 2 days' work at $15, $20 an hour. Well, I didn't get anything for it. Well, when do I know to get rid of them? Well, the vendor was supposed to be doing that well. He didn't. So people were hanging on for a week, crappy, and then having problems. So, yes, you're right, but we didn't do that. John says, I was just happy volunteering. I believe in your life. Thank you, John. I appreciate it tremendously. Yes, absolutely. John says, I'm going through a divorce. Oh, John, I'm sorry to hear that. Several deaths in my personal life, working 60 hours a week, and yet I was out petitioning and glad doing it for free. Thank you, John. I don't want these people bitching about payment when many of us volunteer our time and I'm on my own. John, thank you. 2 points. One, you're complaining about a job that your vendor screwed you over, and I'm going to take care of you anyway. Right? That's number one. And two, what about the LP people who had every other reason to say no when they should have just jumped on board? So jump on board now. John, you're right. Jump on board now. Jump on board right now. So yes. Let's see here. Let's see here if I grab a couple more. Tom says, give us some good news. The good news is we still have options. That's the good news. We're still going to be able to make it happen. We still have a couple more lawsuits. We're back in court. The good news is we have people who have done this before and fallen up a half again. So yes, that's the good news. We're still moving forward. And look, if you wanted to know what was going to happen as governor if I screwed up, well, now you know. This is what will happen. I won't write a book about it and lie. That I won't do. I'll be transparent and hope things go better and we can learn from it. That's what I would do. So there we go. That's the good news. Yes. So anyway. All right. Brandon says, it's astonishing that Larry's a good guy and people don't want to vote for you. I agree, Brandon. Yes, I agree with you. Jericho says, keep fighting a good fight. I am a Marine. I don't stop fighting until I'm out of ammo. Until I do not stop resisting until I do not have the means to resist. When I no longer have the means to resist, I will no longer resist. I have the means to resist. So I'm still resisting. I still have ammunition. We're still fighting. I need you to keep coming with me, though. You got to help out, guys. Come on. Please keep going. Just keep going. That's it. Yes. I please keep going. Yes. The Northern Bandit says, you're a good guy doing good things. Keep it up. Thank you. F to haters. They're rats in every crowd. And I want to be clear. Most of the petitioners did a good job and I want to make them whole. I do. I'm going to try my best. But there were some petitioners who were blatantly just making stuff up, changing hours, and I didn't have any paperwork, trying to get paid in cash without W-9s. Tons of them doing that kind of stuff, threatening me. I'm going to come get you. All kind of crazy stuff. All kind of stuff was happening. Right. And yeah. And I'm going to be clear. I had no direct connection to them. No paperwork signed up by me or my manager or whatever. That's why I made the info because I had to find a way of getting the paperwork to me. So yeah. But most did a good job. Some scammed and some are still scamming, but most did a good job. So yes, absolutely. Let me grab a couple more if I can. When is the election's November? I think it's 8th. I think that's right. November 8th. I believe that. Yes, absolutely. Kristen says, I don't see how you have time to sleep. Thank you so much for fighting so hard for us. Thank you. Yes, sleep can sometimes be challenging. Absolutely. John says, thank you for keeping transparency a libertarian value. John, there was a part of me and part of my team, we talked about this. There was a part saying, do we want to spin this? Right? Do we want to spin this? And of course we had the thought. Of course we had that. We're just humans. We thought it. And I was like, you know what? No. And some people were mad. They want to drag the vendor. I'm not dragging the vendor. It doesn't matter. The people who work for him know who he is. I'm not dragging the vendor. There's no value in dragging him. I'm not doing it. It doesn't help. I'm not getting anything. I hope if he's watching, give me the paperwork. Don't be a jerk. Give me the paperwork so we can do the stuff we got to do. Give me the paperwork. And I don't got to fight these people. Or they're going to be fighting you. So no need. If I drag him, they don't get paid. Right? If I drag him and he gets mad and he goes, I'm not doing it, whatever, then they don't get paid. So what's dragging him going to do? I'm transparent, but I'm not saying anything because it's about him. It's not going to help. It's not going to help people get paid if he gets mad and tells me to go to hell. So yes, there we go. Yes. Wendy says, as much as I want you to win, some think we should just pool our money and leave New York. People think that. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Jonathan says, someone has to do with it. Don't make it easy. No, they don't at all. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Ross says, wow, I will lower my donation to the National Party to a minimum in the rest of your campaign. Thank you. Larry Sharp, supporter from Tennessee, veterans helping veterans. Thank you, my friend. Every little bit counts. Rebecca says, I campaign with Larry personally as a volunteer. I don't want any money from the campaign that will help with ballot access. Keep it. Rebecca, you have been amazing. Rebecca gives and shows up like she is there. Her and I together petitioned. Literally. Her and I were together getting petitions. Yes. Her and I together getting signatures. Yes. Absolutely. We are. Yes. Thank you, Rebecca. You showed up. So many of my friends from last time didn't show up, but you did. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. Yes. Liberty Lovin says, I feel like Larry would do great in a different state. Yeah, but this is the state I have to fight in. This is the one that requires the most. This is the one that has the biggest bang, right? What if I go to whatever, Tennessee, a guy from Tennessee said that, and I become a congressman in Tennessee, whatever. What am I going to do there? Governor of New York is a huge, big win. It changes everything. And if I'm going to sit here and tell you I'm the best at doing this, I'm the guy who can raise the most money, why am I not playing the biggest game, right? I'm going to talk the talk. I got to walk the walk, right? That's what I always say, and I'm still saying it. If I'm going to talk the talk, I got to walk the walk. I'm saying I'm so good at raising money. I'm so good. Okay, then I got to play the big game. If I'm the heavy hitter, I can't be hanging out in the minor leagues. I'm the heavy hitter, so I'm telling you all, I got to play with the big boys. I'm playing in Major League. So you're probably right, and I'm sure a professional baseball player could just do great in the minor leagues. I don't play in the minor leagues. I'm talking the talk. I got to walk the walk. And I know that I have to fight harder and harder. I know. But yes, absolutely. Logic says use to the L's, but not letting it get to me. I know. It's hard. It's hard constantly. One of the hardest things, and I tell people this all the time when you run as a libertarian, any third party, I think in general, but heavily libertarians, when you run libertarian, you have to accept you're going to be backstabbed by your own people. And man, that's hard to accept. It's hard. But or don't run. You will be backstabbed by your own people. That's how I say all the time. You got to pull that knife out and go, this is your property. We ready to go now? You have to. And I'm doing it again. I got backstabbed not by my own party, but other parties backstabbed me. The system attacked me, pushed me down. We just got to keep going. We have to keep going. That's the biggest issue. We simply have to. So, yeah, the L's suck. They do. They suck. But we got to keep going. We have to keep going. So, yes. All right. Let's see if I can keep going. Thomas says, this is the battleground state when we just stop bad policy here. Queen is correct. Thomas Queen is correct. Here is where we stop them. If we stop them here, they don't get to you, right? All the bad stuff starts here, right? It all starts here. If we stop them here, yeah, we're good. Absolutely, right? That's the issue. So we have to be able to do that. So yes. Cheryl says, name the vendor. I tell you, if I drag the vendor and he gets mad, people don't get paid. I want to tell you what happened, but this now gives the vendor an opportunity. I don't say anything. Get the paperwork up, and we're good. We'll move on. Whatever. So, yes, I'm not trying to hurt others because I'm mad. Do I want to sometimes? Of course, Shelly. I'm still human, right? Of course I have the emotion and feeling. But no, it's if he doesn't do what I want him to do, people don't get paid. I want to try to make him whole. That's all I'm saying. Me being angry doesn't help. How about that? Me being angry doesn't help. That's what I will go. Right? There we go. I hope that is, you understand why I get that. John says, keep your head up, Larry. It sounds like the old and unseen, not Mrs. Colcus, are the ones to blame for thinking it's Trepsky. Love from Florida. Thank you. I don't care. I just wanted to be able to pay people, right? I wanted to be able to make things happen. I wanted to be able to make things better. I wanted to be able to, I want to be able to do the right thing, even when I'm upset, even when things go wrong, because that's what good leaders are supposed to do. Again, if I'm going to talk the talk, I have to walk the walk, or you're never going to believe me. That's it. Juan, I saw Juan this weekend at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. I'm more determined now to stand behind Larry Sharp. Just want to. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I saw him yesterday. It was awesome. I do appreciate that. 100%. 100%. I do appreciate that. Yes. So, Chris, how are you, Chris? Man, he was killing it in Oklahoma. New York's a difficult state. Here in Oklahoma, we were off the ballot for 16 years until we got the law changed. Oh, my God. Keep fighting to represent us well, Larry. Yes, brother. You were killing it over there, too. I love it. You just keep going. So, I want to be like you when I grow up, Chris. I'll be like you. That's good. We do have to do that. I appreciate it. So, guys, I want to say thank you so much for the time that you gave me. Thank you for not dragging me too badly for me airing my dirty laundry. I hope you understand what I'm trying to achieve. Hope it makes sense to you what happened and how it flowed and the errors, that were made and the challenges that we have to go through and are still trying to go through. But we're not done. Stay with me. We're not done. Let's keep going. We will be on the ballot one way or the other. Some of you asking how. I cannot tell you how because we're in court. So I cannot tell you how. But we will. We'll make that thing happen. We'll rock and roll to the best of our ability. And we'll keep making things happen. Guys, thank you so much for this evening. I appreciate it. I will see you all very soon.